Morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. The way the format will work today is this is our annual meeting, and so we're going to have a short annual meeting here to elect our slate of officers and to go over a little bit about some of the informational meetings that'll be coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and open the annual meeting up for the Main Street Board of Directors, June 12th annual meeting. Call the meeting to order as roll call. All set. All right, there's an agenda in front of you, and if I could get a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
There's a motion and there's support. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. In that same agenda, you see that there's election officers. I would be the chairperson. Darcy Gifford has agreed to be our vice chairperson. Jacob Cooper, the treasurer, and Meredith Elliott, the secretary. Is there any other questions or any other concerns there? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the slate of officers as presented. So motion, is there support? There's motion and support. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. All right. One of the standards that the MDA, Michigan Downtown Association, says the DDA should be doing is some informational meetings. Now, I think we do that quite a bit, but we have to actually call it out and call it an information meeting where we go over all the activities that we're doing and what we expect to be doing into the future. So because this meeting is going to be piled up, we're going to move that to the July meeting, and we'll open that up after our meeting. And there's no public comment. It's just an information meeting. We got to be able to record that, put it in the records, and say we did it. So there's a few other things that Jay's worked on and to get in that compliance. I think we just are organizing it. And that means like putting minutes on the website, which they're there. We just point it to the city website and some other things that we have to put in our website. So working on it diligently right now. Jay, any other comments on that? No?
No.
All right. Also here, we're going to go ahead and officially give notice of all of our meetings for the coming 12 months. And now we'll still post, but this allows us to not have to post should we not choose or miss it. So if it's okay, I don't think that's an action item, but this is our notice. This is our notice. Now I'll move it to public comment. All right. Any other DDA matters for this annual meeting? Any board comments?
Just one board comment. Wanted to thank Darcy for agreeing to be vice chair. Glad to have you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake. Any other comments? Not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, is there support?
Support.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, the same. All right. We are out of the annual meeting. We'll now start the Main Street Board of Directors, June 12th, regularly scheduled meeting. Yeah. We got some things to get to. Call the meeting to order. Roll call's already been done, and we here again have another agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there support?
Support.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. We have an agenda. Also in your package, you had the minutes from our May 8th, 2024 meeting. Is there any additions, corrections, deletions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Those motions, their support. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the same. Jacob.
Yes, thank you. Financial packets or reports are in the packet as always. Thank you, Jay, for including those. So the balance sheet and revenue expenditure report is in there. Everything looks very much in line. Relatively still on the lower end for expenses for the 23-24 year. Last month, I did mention that we had to transfer money from the fund balance, and just a clarifying point on that's not any sort of additional purchases or additional expenditures. We're essentially transferring from the fund balance to cover all the things that were previously approved throughout the calendar year or the budget year. But all in all, we're in good shape. You'll see a budget amendment under board action items, really just to cover the operating expenses for 23-24, and Jay can talk further about that. But any questions from the group?
Any questions for Jake? If none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial report as presented. There's a motion, is there support? Motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the same. Jay,
Just really one thing on the Main Street Director's Report this month. So Ready to Recruit's our technical service that we've been engaged in over the last 2 months. We're about 40% done with the basic, 40-50% done with the basic requirements of that technical service. So in there, it's updating our business and building inventory. It's creating a map to show available properties. It's developing a cut sheet template. So when property becomes available for sale, we have something to give to somebody. Things that will be coming out of that in the future from some of the extra things is really a process to when you open a business downtown, what are the 6 or 7 steps that you have to go through? So we have a place to point our businesses to say, here are the things that you have to do. And it may change a little bit depending on what industry the business is in, but to give them a template that they can follow and we can become a little more focused on that business friendly, customer service friendly aspect. We'll do our cohort has 2 other communities in it. I think it's Rogers City and Saline that are in our group, and we have a report out June 25th where we'll get to see where everybody is up to this date. But it goes through August for the whole project. So we got a little bit of time to do the extra stuff. But I just wanted to make everybody aware of what's happening there, and you'll start seeing some additional updates on the website.
is it really just with you or is there going to be engagement with us at some point?
So we have a group of people that are on the committee. I can't remember who it is, believe it or not, off the top of my head, but they're people are on that committee to provide feedback and engage with us to help us in that
Okay.
aspect.
Excellent. Any questions for Jay? Long needed recruitment effort. We've long needed an inventory. We've long needed all that. And I think that'll be good work as we get closer. All right, Greg, a report from the city.
Good morning.
Morning.
My usual items, I guess, the Town Square project, formerly known as Maiden Lane, is proceeding on schedule. With the contractor is on to restoring the wall of 122 South Main, which will now be the north-facing wall adjacent to that site. Save 7,000 bricks from the demolition, which will be used to fill in so that the treatment matches what was there before. That's going to be going on for a couple weeks still. They have to remove the plaster that was on the wall as an interior wall, and then there's a little bit more excavation to happen after the brick restoration is done. They're using that as sort of a platform to work on the 122 wall. Jay and I met with Smith Group yesterday for the kickoff meeting regarding the design of that space. We had conceptual drawings previously, which I think you've probably all seen, not radically different, just talking about the features that space should include: restroom facilities, probably some storage space, place for a food truck to park and plug in, pop-up retail 3 to 4 along what was the route of Maiden Lane, tying it into the Gene Christopher lot on the other corner. Gene Christopher lot is going to be more of probably an event space and some maybe activity space for families with children, something like that. And then the focus would be the Town Square itself, where the buildings used to sit. We have interest from the owner of 122 in leasing a portion of that space for outdoor seating. So we're excited about that. We'll help activate that space as well. And I think there's plenty of space available for all those things. So that's going nicely. Likewise, we've had, excuse me, multiple meetings and feedback from MDOT related to our TAP grant application for the reconstruction of Winter Street and inclusion of a bike loop back to the Kiwanis Trail. We have to believe that it's a very, very positive sign that they're kind of being hyper technical with the plans and asking for plan design changes related to lane widths, et cetera. I have to believe that means they intend to fund it. We'll have a funding decision on that by the middle of July, I believe. So it's what I wanted to share this morning. Happy to answer any questions also though.
Any questions for Greg? I don't know if you bared witness to the bringing of those buildings down, but that was crazy. That was some cool stuff. So anyway, thank you, Greg.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that brings us to a board action budget amendment. Jay? Sorry to.
1 second. Yep. Get to it. It's the recommendation of the executive director that the downtown Adrian Main Street DDA approve the budget amendments for the 23-24 fiscal year. So in this, you'll see using prior year's revenue, so fund balance, increasing office supplies, membership dues. So membership dues weren't a line item, and so we started paying those, and so we need to adjust for that. Office supplies, we had moved some technology things into office supplies, so we since in the upcoming budget added that line, but we needed to move some money for that. Transportation, we had cut transportation, and transportation costs had exceeded this year. First Fridays, just moving some additional money over there for things that we've talked about. Same thing with banners, and then just a little addition for a telephone and liability insurance.
All right, can I get a motion to accept this
So moved.
amendment? Is there support?
Support.
Is there any questions, further discussion on it? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the same. Thank you, Jay. All right, we're going to move to committee reports on the promotion committee. Meredith.
Yep, 517 Day was a success. I'm thrilled with our turnout. It was a good time downtown. We got a spot on the Toledo WTOL News that evening at 11. First Friday was a success, walk and wag. Good turnout. I'm loving the pictures coming out of there with the dogs on the red carpet. I feel like there was another thing I'm forgetting.
Just upcoming stuff. that we're-
Upcoming stuff, yeah.
event.
I'm sorry?
The student event.
Yeah, Welcome Back Bash in August, where the committee's starting to shift gears into working on that. And the July 1st Friday with fireworks.
So Michelle, I know that the numbers were pretty big on Friday. We were all down here. And just any comments from you as to what you saw and anything that we need to be doing going forward?
I can give you an update on what's actually happening at the Future First Fridays. if you'd like.
Okay, great.
Sure. As Meredith said, June was pretty packed, so it went well with dog days. July is, there are fireworks, but besides that, we have a Touch a Truck event. We have the Adrian fire truck pull, which is new to Adrian and new to downtown. So teams of 10, it's open to anyone. It's $30 a person, so $300 per team. The money raised goes to Special Olympics. The truck gets pulled approximately, I think it's like, was it 100 feet, Jay, or 100 yards? I think it was 100 feet. But they pull the truck back and forth, the teams do. So hopefully we'll have a lot of teams for that. One of our police officers is spearheading that. And then we have live music with Jaded Soul from 5 to 8. The fireworks are best viewed at Comstock Park, so we're suggesting that people bring chairs and blankets. The Armory will have its open house celebrating 100 years. They have tours and it's open to the public. And then, of course, we'll have specials and activities all over downtown businesses. And we have a Hot Wheel card giveaway sponsored by CR Chrysler of Adrian. So that's for the first 500 kids. And then August is a carnival theme. And we'll also have a movie that night, Wonka, and live music with the Metros.
Awesome. Thanks to the committee and Michelle and everybody that's working on that. Great stuff. And again, I think when we close it all down and create music and atmosphere, you can see it just gives a reason for everybody to pack into the downtown. So great stuff. It is changing. We're doing it a little different, but I think the results were spoke for themselves. It was excellent. All right, Town and Gown Committee, anything new there?
Town and Gown, we have a meeting on July 11th at 4 PM. And then coming up July 25th is National Intern Day. And so any of the interns from our county will be going through different activities and events throughout the county. Last year, for example, they went to Hidden Lake Gardens and went on the skywalk there and did some other bonding activities for those interns. So we plan on doing that again this year, and it's shaping up really well.
Awesome. Any questions on that? All right, organizational committee, we met another donor, if you will, and they got very excited. They could see that we had a lot of passion in what we were trying to do. We continue to have success there. We have another big meeting coming in July with another family. And so Jacob J, thank you. We continue to push forward on raising funds. We're having pretty good success here. So we'll give you numbers once we receive those checks. I'd like to pledge, but we want to receive them all. We've had a few, but we got more coming. So I'll let you know when that happens. Economic vitality.
Economic vitality, really just focusing on the two big things: ready to recruit, which I touched on, and then the DDA TIF plan with McKenna, and we'll be having a recess and heading back to work on that here in just a couple minutes.
All right. Any report from the design committee?
Big thing on the design committee is we're just waiting on the lease for the wall so we can move forward with that mural as soon. I was in contact with the city attorney yesterday, and we're just waiting on the other party's attorney to bring that to us, and then we can move forward with that.
Is there significant cost there or just an arrangement?
Just an arrangement.
All right. Excellent. Any questions? And the call for the artist is all in play.
I don't want to do that until we've
we
got
do
the
have
lease
Okay,
because
got the lease, got it. All right. All right, Tim.
Tim Robinson, Lenawee Now. The big news came out late last month. We were awarded a $500,000 grant from the EPA to do environmental assessments, phase ones, phase twos, BEA plans, due care plans, et cetera. We're working through the cooperative agreement with the EPA. They estimate we'll be all done with that in October, so we should be able to start spending money in October. So if anyone's got some projects, we can talk.
Gotcha.
Other than that, stuff, normal business, some attractions going on, some local expansions. We're not ready to announce yet, but they're pretty cool. As soon as we can announce, we will. And other than that, any questions?
how's the line coming? I saw the signs are up at the center. Anything that you can report on that?
Construction is going on. We're hoping for next spring, maybe next summer to open up, because most of it's waiting, not so much the construction, but it's waiting on the elevator, waiting on the electrical parts. Some of those have a 52-week lead time. Yeah. Yeah, so we're putting an elevator in too.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Yes. And the transformer too, yeah.
Yeah. All right, any other questions for Tim? Tim, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other DDA matters for this board I didn't cover today? And just before we go into public comment, right after I get done, and we're not going to adjourn the meeting, we're going to go into recess. We're going to go into the back room. And Jane is here from McKenna, and she's going to give us some of the results from some of the things that we've done, the surveys and a number of other things, and continue our strategic planning. So that said, I'll go ahead and open up for public comment. Yes. Please state your name.
Hi, I'm Cindy Denning Moore.
Mhm.
I have been in Adrian for about 6 years. I moved from Chicago. My husband and I own 3 businesses. I'm sorry, yeah, 3 businesses, 3 buildings, and live in the city. So we're invested in Adrian.
Yeah.
But today I'm here as a retail business owner.
Okay.
I own the Blue Finch at 112 North Main. And before I open my store, I want to be really frank, but be fair and positive. I heard a lot of things about the city isn't welcome to new businesses. They don't support retail, whether it's true or not. I just am here to share that information. Now being here for a year, I see some of their points. And I want to be here as part of the solution, not as someone who's going to bitch and moan and complain and tell you you're all awful or the city's awful. So I met with Nikki. I think she's an awesome addition to the city. So thank you for that. So I'm here today because one of my ideas, besides when Nikki and I met, was talking about different things to do in addition to First Fridays to support retail businesses. Now, Friday was wonderful. I loved it. There were lots of dogs, but I didn't have a great retail day. So, and part of that may have been because people weren't going to come in with a German Shepherd to shop. So, and that's fine. I get it. But we need support for retail businesses. And I'm not even talking just monetarily. I'm talking a retail association, a retail committee, something. I'm happy to be part of it, but to engage your retailers to stop the negative. I mean, it's bad, to be honest. It's bad. Nobody's happy. So the only engagement I had with the city when I started my business was the inspection that cost me $5,000 to put handrails and a new bathroom sink in. That's the only engagement I had with the city. No one came to welcome me. Angie shops, but I'd be curious to see who here has been in my store shopping. 2 of you maybe? So we're not always going to be able to support everyone to every, you're not going to buy everything you can in every store in Adrian or restaurant. We need to support our local businesses. So I'd love to talk with any of you about ideas or how I could be part of an association, what I need to do. If I start doing this with a few people who are positive, like-minded people as retailers, would you help us with some advertising dollars? I'm looking for ideas. So I just wanted to come to you as a positive person and see what we can do to make Adrian the best it can be, because this is a gem. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. I do, my husband does, I'm sure you all do, you're working for that. Adrian's wonderful. So is that my time? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Jeez. Thank you for those comments. For years, we've been working on the downtown, and for years, it's always been a discussion as to how do we engage our new businesses? How do we even know they're in and who they are? Quite often, we don't, they slip in sometimes, and we don't engage them, and we wish we were better at it. I think our structure at Main Street is now starting to hone us in on what that means, whether it be the Economic Vitality Committee or, other parts of the committee, that something would be within that realm, if you will. But we do hear it, we do know, and we need to get better. We all need to get better at it. So we welcome you to join in, and I'll talk to you after the meeting. Sounds great. All right, board member comments. Yes, Jeff.
Just one thing. I believe there's enough people here to put together a team for the truck poll. Is everybody- All you guys in? We should lead by example, right?
Oh, sorry. Is there another public comment? I'm sorry. I should have done that.
Good morning. My name is Aaron Cheshire, and happy Pride Month. Lenawee County has the privilege of maintaining our annual Pride celebration. This event is mainly hosted by the M Society, a nonprofit whose home is in downtown Adrian. Each year, this festival grows bigger and more successful, with numbers in the upper 4,000s as of last year. With the percentage of LGBTQ youth growing each year, it becomes imperative to have an event like Pride in our town to show that Adrian is welcoming, safe, and exciting place to be. Since the big question throughout all of Adrian's commissions seems to be how to keep young people here, it's disappointing that Lenawee Pride will be held at the Tecumseh Center for the Arts this year. As Pride was held in downtown Adrian last year and brought so much business to our downtown, the community would assume that someone from the DDA reached out and to ask the M Society how they could support the event this year. However, as a close member to TMS, I know this was not the case. I also witnessed how many barriers were put in front of Pride last year, specifically by the DDA. These obstacles were not put in front of other events like it was Pride, while our lead had to consistently reach out and beg for email responses to any and all questions we had. While planning, other groups were invited to meetings and were given hands-on instructions. After facing so many other unnamed issues, it showed our committee that Pride was not actually welcome to remain in our downtown. The optics as an end result are something that members of the queer community are all too familiar with, that we can bring the most business, create a positive environment, and hold a fun, family-friendly event and still be ignored. I hope that this is considered for hopefully having the event here next year. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right. Upcoming meetings and events. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I forgot that Mr. Taylor had sent me an email just earlier this week about Artilicious. What's that?
Did you want me to say something?
If you would, that'd be great.
Well, I charge for it.
Put it on my tab.
I sent you 2 emails, right? No. So I sent Jay an email about Saturday night entertainment at Artilicious. And Mike McLemore and I have been working on local. We talked about that a couple of months ago, I think. And we recommend that we engage Dan Kesterke's band Flowers on the Grave and Billy Lewis and the Soulbacks. They played 2 years ago at Artilicious, had a great crowd. When you put the two of them together, their cost for 4 hours is the same as we paid last year for the Journey Tribute Band, which was like $2,200, I think. So we know that there's lots of local options. The problem is there's only so much time. And we do have some, a full Saturday and Sunday, every time slot on the stage, on the street is filled. We filled the last one a couple of days ago with several, 5 or 6 new entertainment venues. So lots of old folks coming, not old folks like me, but you know, people been around a while. Anyway, we wanted to recommend that. We'd like to move forward with that if we can. You know, we'll continue to work with Jay. Budget wise, I think we're probably going to be okay. And so that's that. So
Awesome.
3 months from now, we'll be partying downtown. Well, we'll be partying downtown a lot before then, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Any other comments? Anything else? Don't mean to be rushing like that. All right, upcoming meetings and events, Juneteenth, Saturday, June 15th, July 1st, Friday's Big Wheels. And then downtown fireworks presented by TLC. Got to thank them. That'll be July 5th at dusk. And then the downtown DDA meeting will be July 10th. With that, we will go into recess and I'll move to the back conference room. And public's welcome to be back there as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need that. Nothing bad, but. Oh, we got stickers and everything. This is like.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
This is a real meeting.
I'm gonna go grab the other table and
We've
just put
got
it.
a lot going on here.
So who's in? Are you in for a truck pull? John, you in?
If I was in town, I would definitely, but unfortunately, I will not be here.
Conveniently hot.
You in for a truck
Saving
pull?
my back.
Dude. I'm too old for that business.
Me too, but.
Oh, what was that? How's everyone doing this morning?
Good. Oh, morning.
No.
No. The best. Pardon?
Looks like it's gonna be outside, yeah. Question would be whether you put Jeff in front or do you put him as an anchor?
I think at the front. It's like a dog chopping the chains, right? I mean, unfortunately, he's just been appointed now. so.
It's true.
I got a bad day. I can't be on the team.
All of us. Oh, but.
I think we're waiting on one member, is that correct? There's some.
Yeah, just waiting for the mayor.
Yep, great. But everyone else has, sorry, the pillars, I'm gonna like move around. Hiding. Everyone has Post-its near them, with Sharpies or pens. For them, great. No photos. We'll be able to have better view and stuff.
Still was a 29-minute meeting, come on.
Yeah, well done. 2 meetings.
2 meetings.
2 meetings.
Sorry, I'm gonna get
You're
much.
fine.
Short end of the viewing area.
Thanks for helping down there. I didn't expect that. Create a group of them.
Yeah,
That's
but-
what I am.
But that's why I said that, that's why when you suggested, well, when she said that, I was like. Kristen. So,
Well, and I told
she's
Jay,
very positive.
we need to bring that in-house before it's like to come see with the CDA and then separate they're doing.
I agree. That's what I said that was like that. Subcommittee of us.
Subcommittee of economic development.
That's what it needs to be.
She did like.
We don't need a separate association.
No.
Collecting.
Especially when I told her that Josh was on it, Kevin's on it, she really liked that,
I agree.
that they're on that.
Yeah.
Because it's other owners on it.
Yeah.
She's gonna step up and lead.
Well,
So,
if we wanted to.
Huh?
No,
Oh.
you're asking too much. We could probably get sponsored from like Lenco, if we wanted to like do like a match from small business advertising, we could probably find a sponsor for
I'm
that.
sure that.
That wouldn't be an issue at all.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, this is gonna lead right into our conversation. So for, I think everyone, other than on the PowerPoint, Donovan is here, but you all haven't met him in person, so.
Hi, Donovan.
Just wanted to introduce him. Gonna help just facilitate things this morning and has been working behind the scenes with me on the Adrian plan. So to start things off, we're gonna just do a quick SWOT. So look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Perfect lead in, I think, to that was the little conversation. So everyone should have Post-its and Sharpies if you want to jot ideas down. You can also jot ideas down and put them up there as well. So, oh, got it. Great. That's great.
You guys are welcome. It's gonna go and slide
You
down.
guys want to slide?
So you're just gonna be talking kind of.
Yep.
Nah, you weren't here when I took this.
All right.
Yes, it's still like, so everybody knows.
Yeah, we're still public meeting.
Starting off with some of the, and in addition, let's keep this a conversation and just dive down this is more mostly for the records and go back and include this in the plan, but what are the main strengths you feel that are foundational to downtown Adrian?
Our building inventory.
The historic buildings?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, I guess you put this as a strength, I mean, people want to come downtown. Like, the community craves to come downtown, I hear there's communities where they want to avoid it.
I'm gonna say our theater.
Yeah.
Small size, it's walkable. And literally get everything. Couple hours. At every store.
I know people say there's plenty.
I agree with
The
you.
elephant in the room.
You don't have to pay for it.
Free parking.
Me too, yeah, free.
I think it's personable, like you walk in somewhere, people recognize you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, I think it's a strength that we don't have like a main thoroughfare going through our town.
That's huge,
Mhm.
yeah.
Our Main Street Board of Directors.
There we go. I'm gonna selfishly say our Adrian Pavilion.
Absolutely.
Our working bathrooms in there.
Have a positive feedback on that.
We can always come back to.
So you know,
Well,
another strength is the alignment with the commission and the city and the DDA board and their vision of a vibrant downtown. So that is a strength. Everybody's honed in.
I think two things that people don't typically think of downtown when you think of these, but there are definitely assets, both colleges. And the Adrian Center for the Arts. Or all three colleges.
I was gonna say, I'm waiting.
One's a university.
Sorry. Man,
We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, there we go. Getting very technical.
I don't know if this would go under building inventory, but the architecture.
Yeah.
Majority of the size of downtown are still 1800s.
Our events are stronger and getting stronger.
I would say the diversity of people that come downtown at age, gender, cultural, I mean, all of those. But I think you see a very wide range of ages too.
It's a bridge between all of the different communities in the center.
Location.
Mhm. I would say even the proximity to a park, which is having Council
Yeah.
Park that close as well.
And river.
The river, yeah. The river's also- And once it gets revealed. It's a strength.
I think we have a pretty good diverse selection of restaurants too. And retail, but the restaurants, I think weekends and evenings are usually pretty busy.
And we can put that on a weakness that we need more restaurants.
I'm always looking for
More.
Is that a good time to transition the weaknesses? And sometimes, you know, weaknesses, opportunities, they work together, so.
I'd throw in for weaknesses now, just like limited hours when things are open, yeah.
Yeah. Can we move that to the top?
Yeah, for those of us who work 8 to 5,
Yeah.
there's
Yep.
very little opportunity to
Right.
participate in retail.
Or Sundays.
Yeah.
Not only limited hours, but limited day, right?
Yeah.
Some are only open 4 or
Right.
5 days a month.
Yeah, inconsistent too.
Right.
Some places have business hours posted and they're not open, like.
Yeah.
With their Google.
I would agree, we don't have a real cohesive group of retailers working together.
Mhm.
You see that at Tecumseh, where they all are, not that we need an association, but they work, they do a little bit
They
better.
do, they definitely work together
Yeah.
and there's not the negativity.
Would you agree with that, Josh?
Yeah, except for Josh.
To an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From the outside looking in.
yes, I would say it's more consistent than what you see downtown Adrian, but there still is some issues.
As a retailer, it's hard in the evenings to stay open. You have to pay for the, employees and all of the overhead and all of the things, and it doesn't monetarily pan out. That's why a lot of them are closed. So how can we support them? Like maybe lack of support or how to do that.
Not sure if it's a weakness or of an opportunity, but lack of apartments above retail and operations.
Housing, yeah.
What about the perception of parking? Like,
That's
how do
negative.
we address that?
I love Jay's map about Walmart. I think we should really complain if people print a copy of that.
Yeah, yeah, you walk farther to get to Meyer. than
You know, farther to get milk in
Oh my
Walmart
gosh,
than
that's
you do
hilarious.
from going from Church Street to the back of the Croswell. You literally walk, if you park in the middle of the Walmart parking lot, to walk to get milk, it's farther than it is to go from Church Street to behind the Croswell.
Bouncing around another strang, I think we should add, like, we have broad-based community support. I mean, we've been out hitting the pitch on fundraising and really nobody's telling us no. There is definitely broad community support for downtown.
Bless you. I think a weakness might also be because DDA is so new and trying to fight a stigma that is there, like just trying to, show the differences between city DDA, like what everybody is, because nobody really knows who to blame. I hate saying that, but like it ends up always being the city. Just being able to clarify like what the purpose of DDA is and how we're trying to make it better. Clarity, maybe, I don't know.
You're fighting decades of a stigma.
Yep.
It hasn't been here in a decade, but the perception is
Yep.
that it's here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if it's a weakness or a threat, but it's kind of like, in some way, ourselves, like not ourselves, us in this room, but this negativity.
This bubble,
Culture,
yeah.
the stigma of it, some of the negative attitudes that even the business owners have, and then very public about that.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see that in the initial survey responses. they've- There's definitely
You mean
that
our
legacy.
Facebook comments?
So you should hear
Yeah.
Facebook.
I think losing pride as it was raised today is an awesome opportunity hopefully to like rebuild that relationship or have it back. Especially like as parents of the young folks to years ago.
Another weakness and opportunity is, Jay to some extent, right? I mean, Jay only has so many hours in a week. There's only so much we can do. And there's only so much money we have. We have limited resources and everybody needs to understand that, it'd be great if we could throw advertising dollars in every business, but we need to be transparent and we do have limited resources. It's an endless budget and Jay doesn't have an endless schedule.
I thought Jay was weak, period.
He didn't call it here at the truck pull, so.
Is
that
the injured reserve list?
Oh, that hurt your toes, sorry. Yeah, so maybe Jay's not the weakness, but I
know what you mean.
Honestly, I would selfishly, because he's my boss, I would put him on his strength because he is he does take a lot of hits to be consistent.
And that is something that, you know, he could snow over and, you know, allow something that would just cost so much more. And he just takes it because he knows that it's for the better of the community. And people put a lot of stuff on his back. Yeah, for sure. He really does. so.
Attracting, managing, and retaining volunteers.
Weakness.
Well, even.
Opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a current weakness. I would say it's an opportunity to just like the cultural shift of like the mindset of especially the elderly in the community. I think they're the ones that we fight a lot of that with as well. Of just, well, it used to be like that, it's that mindset. It's a weakness, but I think it's also an opportunity to change that mindset.
I think there's an opportunity to distinguish ourselves from the city of Adrian. While there's a great relationship, we want to build on that. We also need to be clear that an inspection to open a business is not DDA, and we don't have any say in, you know, national construction code.
Well,
Some agreements have to go in your back.
that's something you run into in every community, and I think like I heard you mention that the how to open a business sheet, like that offering that can offer the clarity of like, I'm not the building department.
Yeah.
And this is the state of Michigan's code, which is based off of an international code. Like, this is not, you're not being picked on, but there's
Not us.
every place, right, has like, well, you're picking on, because I have to. I'm really not.
No, and setting those expectations where they belong at the front end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Would be a much better way to handle it.
Not that we want to shift blame to the city, but like there needs to be transparency of, you know, these cities just enforcing state and federal regulations. This isn't something that we necessarily want to do.
No, and DDA is a lot different, like Ann Arbor's DDA is more of an authority, a real authority. So they're a lot different than us.
We have an opportunity to like connect our business owners, because there are people who are passionate and have great ideas, but finding a way to like give that a constructive voice would be good.
Yeah, I feel like the negative voices are louder than the positive voices right now.
I think it's a great opportunity for this group, you know, to continue to improve our engagement and our involvement in downtown. Obviously, we're all very passionate and we're here, but there's still a lot of work ahead of us to be done.
I think too, just the collaboration, the opportunity is the collaboration of businesses. I mean, there's some that are already doing it on their own, where like you can go to Challenger's and you can get Draco's Asian Fusion. There's some of that already going on that they've done on their own, but I think the more that we can connect those, you know, like, I don't know how we really, but like give those opportunities for.
Sponsor a business owner mixers.
I think one of the things, as we go back, just to go back and touch on one of the things, letting the businesses know what they need to do, right? Part of it is creating that, but I'm really the concierge. I guide them where they need to go and hold their hand and do that. But they have to know to contact me, right? I can't come in, like a couple of recent businesses, I came in at the 12th hour and I'm like, hey, just so you know, you need to do these 3 things. And so not just us having, I mean, if we have it on our website, that's great, but we only get so much website traffic. There's gotta be a, you know, word of mouth effort to get that out, that if you see a business or you see somebody, so it's really figuring out how to broadcast that communication, right? That's the opportunity.
So a lot of cities will have a small fee to go ahead and register when they have a new business come to town. We don't have that mechanism
No,
where it comes to us right away and say, hey, you know, Paris coming to town, and she's just shutting up shop. We don't have that yet. We need that. We need to have some way of getting that triggered.
Like, there's the communication aspect, but also a welcome wagon almost.
Right, and we're without a chamber that does a lot of the ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, we talked about, should we take the place of that and start, you know, giving the love to our new people and the like, this is, there is,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, Jay said all the time, nobody's come to save us. We have to do it ourselves, and every piece of the puzzle comes together like that.
You just have like a drawer of t-shirts of Jay sayings.
It's because I spent so much.
Like Jay does.
you're around me like you'll hear the same phrases all the time.
Because I've heard it so many times.
Still a lot of empty storefronts, especially in West Miami and South.
as well, right?
Yeah.
Might be a weakness.
Oh, I would say more a threat or opportunity
Yeah.
than a weakness.
I think the river is a huge opportunity, recreation on the river.
Oh, yoga on the river.
Tubing.
Doing more of just like floating.
It's like being the DDA. But there's also a stigma with the river that it's dirty and that you cannot get into it.
Well, that's a threat.
Yeah.
Because it
That's
is.
what I'm saying. Okay, there's a reality that it's a dirty river. So who's gonna tube in a green room?
I think one of the opportunities is more public spaces, right? As we go through, some of the development that we're currently engaged in, it's creating those public spaces and the programming for those public spaces, right? It's nice to have them, but you need to do something in them or spur some kind of activity in them.
We have been holding out opportunities, children's area, playground. You knew I was gonna say it, right?
Never forget that.
I won't stop saying it.
Are you a preschool teacher?
You'll be happy to hear what we talked about yesterday, then.
Well, I know, I heard that, and I was like, oh, that's that
You're like, oh, so I just have to continuously.
We're fortunate to have strength that we have passion dollars entering the downtown as well as other development dollars, and it continues to expand at this time.
Public-private partnership.
Yeah.
And I think another like opportunity is just more outdoor eating, drinking, whatever it might be, just more outdoor cafes, but I mean, we need more restaurants for that, obviously, but just more outdoor.
Permanently.
Pretty difficult to do. What is the
Yeah.
discussion on closing the street?
Drop it down.
I think it's just me at the day, Jay. It's just us.
He's small me. The
Yeah.
discussion,
Yeah,
discussion of,
putting it as a possibility, like, what, is it an opportunity to close?
I mean, there's definitely an opportunity to do that. I think it's a premature conversation then.
Yeah, get them wound up. Particular people in that area. But we see it in Ipsy, in Old Town, Depot Town, we see it in a number of places where they just take a street trip for the summer.
Great.
Harbor does it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Grand Haven's done it, they've done it now, they've committed to 5 years for doing it, so, you know, and it started because of COVID, but it's grown and they've seen the benefits of doing that, so.
And after it's happened, like, happy.
Yes,
Even in the cases where there are uphill battles with residents, there's seems to be, that the winning side is that the street.
threats, declining population,
Threats aging population.
lack of housing.
I'm gonna add the parking to a threat because I know we all say that there's so much parking, but my customers specifically tell me all the time, I can't find parking, there's no parking. How do we tell people that or explain to people how to park or that there's parking?
What does that, help me understand what that means, they can't find parking, they can't find parking where they wanna park? Or they can't find parking within a 1 block radius?
So normally they mean they can't find parking somewhere on the street in front of my building, either on the way up or on the way down. So they are not considering parking around the corner by the 110 or whatever, you know, around the corner.
Right.
Or they're trying to park in the back and they can't find parking directly behind where we've told them they can park because part of it's closed right now, but.
Well, I think the hard thing with your business and a lot of businesses over there is that parking is so. It's back there and there's not like an alley like
I was
there
gonna
is
say,
here.
there is
There's
plenty of
several
signage
alleys
that
there's several alleys on
Right.
this side, but on that side, you do have to go way around if you park in the back. It is a
So
problem.
does it become more of an opportunity where we need to educate the public?
It could be.
Or signage of some sort, because
It
your
feels like a
gallery
threat to
shop,
my
you
business.
know,
It feels like a
you're
threat
parking
to
in the
my
back, you can go right
business,
in
though,
there.
But it is also an opportunity.
It took me like 20 minutes to find your back door when I
Yes,
parked back
see,
there
that's what
because
I'm
I was
saying.
teaching and I was like,
Yeah.
I have no idea how to get.
Yeah, they're
someone
having
through
to,
the front.
yeah.
If all of our it comes to fruition and we actually are vibrant, we're going to have parking issues and there's no doubt about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But the word that everybody avoids is enforcement. And, you know, there's plenty of enforcement in popular cities if you see it. We avoid it because everybody remembers the day, maybe some young ones don't, but we had parking meters and we pulled them because everybody said that was the reason why it's not flourishing downtown. But now we see so many of the business owners and employees just take the spots, the prime spots, so we need to address that at some point.
I would say a threat is just negativity. Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I don't know, but I'm positively. But especially from
Our own people.
our own, some of our own business.
I think a threat is our community wealth, our community, you know, the AMI for our residents.
Very poor community.
Yeah.
The whole county qualifies for free lunch,
Right.
so.
Which is good and bad, right? I mean, that helps push a lot of development dollars to Adrian.
Right.
You know, I mean,
We get more money.
it's unfortunate that we're so poor, but we do get a lot more state and federal funding because of it.
Well, that goes back to affordability. We're seeing that movement, you know, across the country from the major metropolitan areas to the urban, so it's an opportunity. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's a weakness, a threat, what it is, and I don't really know if there's anything that can be done, but, you know, as I just said, we have an aging population, but, like accessibility, like ADA compliance, like but these buildings are old, like,
Right.
I don't really know if there's anything to be done, but that is something that does come up. And maybe it's just those easier ramps to get into the retail or the restaurant as opposed to a step, because I've also heard that, like, I don't know.
Did you put under threats that we were a low income population?
Yeah.
Okay. Because as we were just saying it, as retail businesses, it's actually a threat to us, because when COVID dollars came flowing in and people had COVID checks and you were allowed to be open, suddenly our retail went kaboom. And people were spending it because they had dollars, but then when the dollars go away, it doesn't get spent, so.
Yeah.
And it's,
I mean, a threat, but this isn't gonna go away. A threat is online shopping. And DoorDash and, I mean, all of those things. It's not gonna get people to come.
I think DoorDash is an opportunity though for some businesses, because that's a local, like they pick up for local restaurants, yeah. We also need Uber.
We're working on that.
Public transit. I saw one Uber in the parade.
We're actually, I think at the next city commission work session, we're having a conversation with Lenawee Transportation to discuss the Uber possibility. We've actually met with the one Uber driver and how we can help them, so.
We do need better public transportation in general.
Like, you know, that you get on it,
Yeah, around the colleges.
very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
College kids would take.
We'll go get them and bring them downtown, yeah.
Downtown.
Gotta have a cooler when you're in it and music.
I wonder a little bit, to come to this happening, but you know, is that an opportunity in terms of just the population decline and kind of thinking more regional?
A lot of bedroom communities have a freeway, and we don't have that freeway close to us. I mean, we have 223 and 52, but not a 94.
Right. Tecumseh has that proximity, right there. Saline was that for a while, and now Saline's just kind of been engulfed into yeah, and so Tecumseh's the next really bedroom community that does that, so. I mean, there's definitely opportunities for that, and as we look at increasing housing supply and what does that look like and what's appealing to somebody along those lines.
Right. Blissfield for Sylvania, Toledo, like they have that.
I mean, to go along with that, though, I think it's an opportunity just to that broadband, that Wi-Fi, that strength of that, 'cause you have a lot of people now working part
Yeah.
time at home, and I think that's an opportunity to increase that, because I will admit, we have a lot of issues like that in this area, like it's out a lot, we have a lot of problems with it. We're a little more remote, so, you know, my daughter works fully remote. She's moved all over the country and she always struggles when she's here. So she doesn't like to come visit for that exact reason. That's why I know that.
Yeah.
So I think the remote work is a weakness too, though, or a threat, because everybody thinks that, oh, you should work remote, you should live in Adrian. So for those of you that don't know, I work for a company out of San Francisco. And it's a better option I could never find in Michigan. And I'm on a committee where we try to hire remote workers because it saves our company so much money. But the issue is when you're making California dollars in Michigan, Ann Arbor's cheap. You know, I mean, it's 56% cheaper to live in Ann Arbor than it is San Francisco. So when we have remote workers, they're not looking to come here. They're looking to come to cities where there's more to do because it's still so much cheaper. So it's an opportunity, but it's also a threat of something that's, it's gonna be hard to pitch.
We heard our last donor that we sat down with, he's president, regional president of a bank, and his wife and him come up, they go to the crosswalk, tells me the whole story, goes out to dinner. They go on the trail, would come up here with their bikes, and he's telling me how much money they spend here, and it was just a perfect example, when he was telling the story, how much he loved the place, and they're living in Sylvania.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's ready to come and do that, make that an entertainment choice, so that is our opportunities to attract.
Yeah.
There are close, like Manitoba Beach, right, like close to them, and they attract a lot of summer visitors and
Right.
Irish Hills and.
Stepping into that.
I would say another strength, only because I'm driving through a lot of times at night, is the lighting. And it is so lit up and it feels very safe because it is so lit up. The lighting has drastically improved downtown.
I would even say, you know, and this will be a somewhat of a controversial discussion, but our crime rate comparatively is pretty low. And we're pretty safe when that's all said and done.
I think back to the attraction of residents in general. There is the attraction of Ann Arbor, but I also know people who say, I won't even go into Oakland County because I hate the profession so much. And I won't, if I don't have to leave Lenawee County, then I don't, because I like that there's not that congestion. I mean, if there's preference, you know, that you're never gonna be everyone's cup of tea, but you can play on your strengths.
The opportunity is, how do we get in front of them over here?
Right.
I think there's even more opportunity for more light though, like all of the twinkle lights that
Well,
they have in
that-
Ann Arbor.
for
that
sure.
are over the
No,
street.
definitely,
That's what I
yeah.
would say, we need the twinkle lights, because people come to them. They see the lights going across and then they're like, oh, that's so cute, I'm gonna go
Oh, I
park and
agree.
walk around.
I agree.
Like I would park and walk around just because I saw cute lights in the downtown. That sounds stupid, but it's true.
No, we're twinkly people there.
Right? Like,
I think we've got an opportunity to be like an art destination again. with
Yes,
programs,
yes.
the Sculptures.
Definitely.
We're pitching a sponsorship to help kind of get that started. I think that, I mean, we get that meeting and I had to go check out Jackson after we heard about how great Jackson was. And it is really cool. And I think that we have a great opportunity to be the next community doing that.
I think an opportunity as well, just to retain those college students after graduation, to like show that the downtown's great, let's keep them here, let's retain them. Stay here and.
So I'm gonna be bringing forward something that's called Knowledge Town. It's a doctor out of the Ohio State University, Dr. Staley, and he writes a book about how to become a college town and a knowledge town. And so you'll see me pushing that forward here soon.
that's great.
And his big thing is the broadband, and it's,
It is.
yeah, because we met with him. That's why I brought it up. Because I've been thinking about it ever since I met with him and Dusty.
You mean the actual internet, like the broadband internet?
Broadband is strong here. We need
Yeah.
Much bigger Wi-Fi structure.
Yep.
That's so surprising. Like, that's the one issue I don't think we have.
Yeah.
It's just.
But it might depend on.
It's
Yeah,
totally-
One links out at home all.
Any final items for, I mean, this is a great list.
I
really.
One last threat coming in is, I mean, it's no secret that COVID dollars are starting to disappear, right? I mean,
Yes,
There's
they're
no
gone.
more American Rescue Act dollars coming into the community and.
They were
there's
gone
quite a few
last year, in
things
my opinion.
Earmarked for us that we, Town Square being one of them, and we need to be aware that those dollars are coming to an end and figure out how we can get funding elsewhere.
I think they left last year. I think it started, they drastically gone and it's just trended.
You've seen the individual dollars
Yes.
disappear. You
Yeah.
haven't seen the municipal dollars
Yeah.
disappear yet. We're seeing in public schools, this is the start, Ann Arbor-
I mean, it's well on the way out the door.
Yeah, Ann Arbor's a perfect example right there.
Yeah.
They had to borrow money to make payroll this month, so that's where Ann Arbor.
I still think that even though we're working really hard to connect with the colleges, it's also a threat that they feel like they're islands and that they
Yes.
up and leave in
Yeah.
summer,
Yeah.
Really good point.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they feel like floating islands sometimes of their own.
Well, the thing that I really learned this last year with the colleges is 80% of their students are athletes,
Yeah.
right? And it's a different perception and attraction when you're trying to attract athletes to retail and to restaurants, because their days are, 14 of their 16 waking hours are already planned for them. So you got to find those pockets.
But it's an opportunity because all the parents come to watch them and I see that all the time downtown, like eating or retail. It's also that opportunity of those parents visiting to go to their sporting events.
I think we have a real opportunity with youth in general, high school, middle school, up through the college students. We just don't have a lot. If you don't drink or can't drink, there's just not a lot to do after school.
Graffiti walls, I guess.
That falls into the art category.
Okay.
No.
Let's go. My favorite flavor is gum.
If anyone thinks of anything else, they'll, put it on a Post-it and stick it up here. But we've got other activities, so I think this was a really great start. And I know this is over in the corner a little bit, but I'll pull the chairs away. We have the big kind of map of downtown and we have some stickers for everyone to identify areas that can be improved or things that they love. So I am gonna have you guys get out of your chairs a little bit. And we'll either take turns or crowd around this table.
Josh, that Costa Rican coffee kicked in.
People like
Oh, she's asking for action.
Yeah.
Said stickers and.
So. So we have some.
Actually gotta figure out where people are to park here. Where are we?
Absolutely.
Mommy,
Right here?
Yeah, no.
You already like. So there is another. Things that you feel like are just. Ideas and things you definitely keep or green is hands, yellow is idea, red is. That's kind of. Walking and biking or just.
Then we can way back to some time, so like I started, you said about 6 in rotation.
So for reference, we're like here. And this is.
Well, it's fine. Get a whole group come together. Study DDA, citizens, college, university, everybody at the table saying we're all gonna do this.
Hang on, if I'm walking or walking. And if you have things you want to add. Yeah. Are these temporary or these are like, you fix it way, you know, like, it's right, you know, like, it's like for events, marketing, this right now.
No, it is.
Put a-
It's a rural agricultural, it used to be the second largest city.
I do.
Thanks, company that she.
Kind of the general, if it doesn't fall in.
Railroads.
Categories,
Big time. At the
and add,
time, it was still Detroit.
you have ideas right down along with.
So this was a much bigger,
Get out of the way.
built out bigger, and then there's only 22,000 here.
Build it.
99,000. So it's still an overnight thing, you tracking for the weekend. Getting people to really care.
Yes, but yeah.
2 days. Economic development, another way economic development. We're all on the same page. But we all believe that there's an urban sprawl happening right now. We can see it on the ground.
Maybe that's something like feel people are right now.
I don't know, I see a lot of things that.
We have a guy in town,
Had to go to.
he represents the real estate portfolio, of a much more bigger person, and we don't.
You're listening to it up here.
Making houses.
Yeah, but we're.
Apartments.
Right there.
So you can see it. So he's buying in small town homes. Buying in already three buildings.
Wait, would that be an idea? That's.
Don't get them up too much on.
Okay.
But if, there's something specific you want, write it on the first. So I, you know.
I don't know that there is, but it's actually
This,
happening.
I actually.
We got a very long company, $20 million project. We got a $15 million. Framework for us. And, it's a riverfront, we revealed a huge part of the housing going.
Bring it up. I do too. The problem is that they can't get building owners to.
Square.
That's been the problem.
So.
That's where you're problem.
We took our two biggest problems, hamburgers, furniture storage. And then we apartments and retail activities. So that's happening now, so about the building right next to the town square. So that's-
Yeah.
So. Everybody, I pulled out.
Yeah.
I heard it started turning out.
Oh,
That's what I was supposed to.
I don't know why.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Draco's now, and I tried that. Draco, I want to try that. It's the same. Yeah.
I want. So, I don't.
It took me, so it's been a long run, and I agree. A lot of effort to become Main
I
Street.
added it too. That's what I had to, when I had to edit the, that's what I had to add to it.
Maybe that's funny.
Is it the same? Oh, I don't have it.
No, it's us.
Yeah.
We're the Main Street Board. We're one of 22 cities. And you can really go. Jay's director of that.
Yeah, it is the right spread.
So right now, we're gonna our recruitment, it's technical service, right? We got these emblems and all this was technical service, that they branded us, and then all. Branded.
Yeah, I know. Building and physical improvement.
Yeah, they just keep doing this service.
Put all the
We're at 5 years.
projects
Your career
on a map for the.
will be master and accredited by year 5. No, Jay's, he knows that. He keeps saying this, yeah. he's-
I can't help it. I mean, I don't know how to talk to mayor, coach mayor.
Shout out. So we've been fortunate.
Really, when we have American one, they lost the next one, but, you know, maybe we.
Yeah, just help it. It's the rain, you know, say, hey, if you're. It's 5 grand a year, it'd be a big year.
We're gonna use your power.
And,
Wait till.
and I came back. I remember this in the eighties and nineties. Corporate America used to be.
Hey, we're gonna do a dollar.
And
Whatever
country
amount
club was
for
full,
it, that's to do.
huge events.
I think we.
And there was all kinds of money everywhere.
Put that,
Two or three generation big companies like Marriott covers,
these guys.
second largest producer that covers Kevin's. Through that whole round.
The vendors are ready.
There's not a.
So many people that we had the automatic extension. And so that's.
Nice, yeah.
New things come in.
Actually, from the Adrian.
Yeah.
Right now.
I will spoke to my
industrial.
Oh, yeah. Right, just partnered with, yeah, she's already graduated, she just, she's gotta take her exam. Because,
That's exactly what we did.
I don't know, what's it called?
14 dispensaries for general.
Oh, they moved.
Like
So,
three,
so like
three
you're
major
not.
roads, so it's
Process, no one can do
three
it.
major. First, east. That's what I want.
I wanted to do a wellness walk, where they did, instead of like a marshall, you're like going all of the yoga. I know, you mentioned something like yoga at the farmer's market. How many people can
All the other municipalities were trying to decide, Renzi is small enough.
focus?
And he grabbed it first,
And.
and you can see it was just grabbed the township.
Yeah, that's right.
Appetite.
Here's the opportunity. By the
Yeah,
river.
handle out.
Yeah. You could do like some sort of. You could do some sort of like.
If you build everything together. But they gotta be attached. And there's some unplanned. Those that they find.
And the park, yoga.
Like, we don't even supposed to have 10 just.
I need to go over there and talk to somebody about. Now you look at it on a map. This is our fourth corner. Yeah. Look how much comes this way that doesn't get lost. That's, you know what I mean? Wow. It's really true. I think Sean did a good job getting. Some stuff, but not the whole thing. So bring it for.
Yeah, our high school.
Like people stick on.
That's got a weight, they needed to change it to green.
I got the.
I'm hoping that-
That was like the girl that you know, here to share that. Because we don't.
Man, we do have a population of conservative crowd and you couldn't have. There was enough for kickback and stuff.
Well, yeah, well, we don't trucks this way and that helps a little bit. We block this street, but we don't block anything. So
We can't block front
front
street.
is gonna, yeah, right. So that's why we put stuff in here for safety. Because we don't block this either. We block
But
it
so
here.
actually, the reason we don't do anything down here is we lack power and the number one complaint is walking from here to here is too
Oh
far.
my gosh, people.
That's, I mean, that's absolutely.
Yeah. But which is ridiculous because a ton of the people park here.
Mhm.
So
Right, it's
this
not
is,
that-
that's what doesn't make sense.
When
you say
we,
that.
so last year, we had food trucks down here for our events. Why are they so far away?
Oh, we did hear that.
All the time.
Yep.
the corridors that are created by having a series of buildings with no alleys seals off the back parking lots, causes, the ability for perception, yeah. And then some of the alleys, as though there have been improvements, an opportunity we should be lighting them up, brightening them up, but our layer into those alleys.
Saw the naming rights.
Welcome to the party, gentlemen. Yeah.
Sorry, we get a subcommittee.
Kind of mini meeting.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a question, Jake. Can we like redefine the DDA district, or is that set as is? Like,
If we redefine it, then we have to reset our text capture.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just that block on people, and I'm like.
Yeah.
Wait,
Here.
just, it's really just this block right here, Premier, and the houses, and then there's that car wash.
Well, and I typically you would expand boundary and try to capture more.
Reset, takes us zero
Right.
capture.
So, yes.
Supposed to do.
How, we have 4 kind of categories: housing, walking, biking, kind of a new connection, ideas and events, and then building and physical improvement. Red is kind of issues that you know need to influence. Yellow, kind of ideas, and green are things you love but you want to preserve.
One of the things that I see as an opportunity that no one's addressed, we gotta figure out what the solution is for it. It's definitely the armory. You know, that's it's a big building that may not have a purpose in the coming years. So we gotta figure out that.
Have we had any further conversations about Huntington? Is there any movement on
Yeah,
that at all?
that's being covered just a bit. We don't want to go ahead and ask for it, we're not actually ready for design.
Absolutely. No. And then Dusty, in terms of the riverfront, so riverfront tears down this, and this, correct?
Yes, and hopefully they,
I'm just saying, how do we get courthouse commons cleaned up? Because that's an eyesore.
well, if this,
What is it now?
Yeah, bail bonds and there's some other.
I don't know, it's what I have to do background checks for all of my preschool teachers. I don't know.
long term, the goal is there, but it's premature to talk about, so. But can you imagine all these streets gone, are cleaned up,
Yeah.
and all this being wide open, all the way down through here?
Dog park, right?
Really on both sides, right?
I know, I was gonna lay down dog park. I know, but after I have dog downtown,
Like,
and
they
it's
got
actually
issue
an
with the
issue.
city.
Because I don't have a place to go.
Right.
They just leave their poop on there.
Yeah.
So I'll write down
On the
contact.
sidewalk.
Like right here's, the dogs walk right here. Like when I walk the dog, we go here.
So that part's in theory coming out,
That
right?
market theory is coming out,
It's gonna be
replaced by mainland.
I mean, if we could squeeze a dog burger.
I don't know where.
That'd be ideal.
Throw it in here, put it in the armory parking lot. For a night, dog park. Somewhere.
Yeah, that's. Yes, that's good.
Right downtown, how do we create rooftop or like
Yeah.
rooftop dining?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh, I say
love
that
it.
every time I'm downtown.
Yes. Ours, rooftop, ours. dining.
More than one.
Just don't, oh my God. There you go. My mom heard it with a car, I'm like, Mom, really? She's like, we shouldn't go to Nashville. They're throwing cars out there, like, Mom, I can't.
More trash for some people for sure, like in the parking lot areas, because they get so trash and it's kind of gross walking around sometimes, and then my dog wants to eat whatever's on the ground too. And there's like dumpsters, and then there's like trash stuff that goes on the main road, but not just in like the alleys.
So I will tell you that
That one.
we have a new dumpster enclosure coming in the Church Street parking lot. That's already been approved. With the Maiden Lane project, we'll have a new dumpster enclosure that's coming there. And they're looking at all the-
Additionally,
Half
one
of
that's
those
already
correct,
there.
that's right.
This is the
Make it
problem.
bigger.
Another one's,
I'll
all
make
right,
it bigger.
this one's the.
Yeah.
The one I get all the complaints about all the time.
And
Good pictures.
we gotta figure out what that is because
What's the one that I use?
with Stevens, they said the city cleaning up and they.
We have the city and their residents,
Oh, I
I
know.
like a little enforcement there, I wish we could.
Or camera.
I empty the pavilion trash.
That's
No, this is, it's all over the place.
Oh, I
Pictures
see.
on there is food, like,
Yeah.
it's bad.
It was bad on
Bad.
the E-rate stigma day. It was disgusting.
It's bad. This
Traffic
one
stuff
right
at
here.
Little Street lot.
It's too short, so left it. We need a ladder.
If you go to the other one, it's got a slider inside.
Oh, well, you didn't train me how to throw trash away. How do I accept it?
I think one of the opportunities that we have, and it'll be a lengthy one, but this building right here is the original Ford dealership.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity. It's a big one.
It could be. It could be something, but that was the very first Ford dealership. Yeah. His wife. Wife has got it.
Any prospects at Big Board?
Yes.
Yeah.
They got a purchase, they made an offer, I don't know where it's at, but they made an offer, I went over and met with them and we talked through it, so, yes. Not the same offer. Really come, yeah.
There's nothing but there. Remember that Sunday? I
Definitely
know.
lunch and dinner, I don't know how to.
Sunday?
Never.
It's the, oh, we're gone.
You never heard of Ben's?
Never.
Oh,
When I was here.
After the
Thank you.
Golden Walk? Yeah, we used to go there all the time, real late at night after the bars. After the cafe. You don't have LA dining open like really late at night. Right.
Well, there are things that used to take place there that probably. Probably keep it from happening now.
Crazy when the bars.
There's
There's only like 2 places.
all these houses are historical houses, have names to them, they have their own titles. Those nodes, we want to see this all values go up and be desirable housing in those areas of this area.
I still want to see some welcome stuff in the downtown.
Well, I was gonna say sign it, we need
Some sort of.
wayfinding
Something,
signs
like
still.
some welcome sign. I told Jay I want like a cross
Where do you want 'em?
banner in the fire station front yard.
So the most part, in my mind, there's really 4 opportunities, right? And something right here is a great opportunity. I see right here,
That's fine, yeah. Back a block.
yep.
I think we could do like a Croswell sign, like digital banner, like they have the marquee, and we could stop putting an orange trailer that says street
Yeah.
photos for downtown.
That would be right.
We're looking at something
our
right
land
here at the
for
Church
the
Street
city.
roundabout to do something there because we own all of that property within the state right away.
Yep.
And then I think you'll see something, it may not be as prominent, but I think you'll see something that happens right here with.
I would even do like a little quarter sign.
Yeah, with the G Christopher property, there's an opportunity there to do some stuff.
She's right though.
Yeah.
Contact card down from.
Right by the fountain.
Like by the fountain, that was so. By the fountain, those tiny little Detroit letters. Bigger than they were.
We need to figure out what to do with Comstock Park outside of the Christmas time, right? It's just a desolate grass field.
Well, my vision would be is that this was all cleared, you could create a pavilion type effect here. Or even here, remember how they put the stage down here for the winter? You start having concerts and everybody.
Yeah.
My thought for Comstock, right, is, and I talked to Julie Kane about this, is we put a stage here. And we have a 2 or 3 day summer concert festival and everybody sits on the hill and.
What is this building?
It's the
Right.
self-storage.
So.
Ramos Building,
I'm like,
which
she's
is.
trying to dollars or
something.
I don't read that.
Cool lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-storage. Thank you.
We're doing a pretty festival. Thinking of part.
And
Are you there?
Still being recorded.
But I would say even like something like during, I mean, more events really utilize kind of stuff during the day. I like the yoga in the park or different, like just smaller things like that during the day, you know. Whether it be exercise, whether it just be like
Just something.
picnics or like family picnic day, or I don't know. That would be cute.
We have the opportunity to do all that programming, right? Just remember, there's only 1.5 of us.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the
Who's that?
thing.
Do I have?
Do that.
Is, so, because it's a park and like every city is different, but do you get any support from like the city's parks and recreation?
Yeah, they manage
They
that
manage
entire thing,
it.
yep.
In terms of events, you know, is there opportunity for partnership if it was like a summer movie night or something, you know, is that, I've seen it work really well in other communities. Why I'm asking to say, you only have so much capacity, let's get the parks staff or whoever resources there to help maximize that.
It's a capacity issue there too.
Yeah.
That would have to be something possible, but.
There's some good volunteers on the staff of the city, but it is a union. Employees, so you gotta be a little careful on that.
Coordinate better with our library downtown that pulls in people from all backgrounds. And they host a lot of different events and educational things and coordinate them.
That is so great. Contacted us, so they have a whole bunch of tarot decks, so we didn't make us the tarot class, which was. And I thought, yeah. Oh. They just had like.
Class there sometime.
They do a good job on community action and outreach, the library, so more than before, for sure, yeah.
We have one more thing, so let's, transition, this was really helpful though, so. And then-
Client appointments.
Frame it.
I gotta go.
You can have it, everything, when we're done. All right. I think this should be hopefully the fastest. We'll see. All right, so we're just thinking about projects and prioritizing and thinking about like how much like financial resources you want to dedicate. So you already have a lot of events, festivals, but something we heard in the survey and from you all is more programming and events and festivals. So starting with cost, we have dollar signs here, so I'm gonna stick them on here after what I hear from you guys. Kind of $1 sign, $2 signs, and $3 signs, like allocating really generally about how many resources should go there as we look at the future for funding.
Jay, at a very high level, what do we spend on events a year? Like nice round number, 10, 20, 30.
35,000 probably.
I think we should try to spend like 50.
$2 signs, $2 signs. Anyone else have, I can put multiple up here too, so we have debate.
On programming or other?
Programming. All right, so priority level, what do people think we should put that at? I mean, I think it's an ongoing thing, right? So, I
It's
think
never
it's what
let
we-
up, let's put it that way.
Right.
Can't let up, push hard.
Maintain as is and it makes sense.
That's what the businesses are asking for us, for people to be downtown, and I think that's what that provides, so I think it's a pretty high priority.
But I also think that we need to make sure that we're educationally supporting our business, right? Because if we do this, it becomes a crutch, then we have to do it forever. Right, and that's not a sustainable model.
Mhm.
Because the board turns over and positions turn over, things will change, so we've really gotta. I think it's nice to have, but it shouldn't be a crutch, yeah.
I just, sorry, I don't want to miss out on these notes.
But I also think, Jay, like, the events, when people come downtown and they normally don't come downtown to like see the retail and stuff, they come down, they get their first introduction during the events. Not every event is going to appeal to all. Having the varied things then brings the people in and then they start returning, and they see that there's stigmas of what the past of what downtown was and what it is now is different, and then they become regular shoppers. Ideally.
That's the theory, right?
Yes.
That's the plan.
All right. For business, recruitment and retention, I know you again have some ongoing activities. Do we want to invest more dollars at a mid-level or low level or a high level of additional dollars to what you're currently?
Is that a support that, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, is provided?
We're talking all funding. We're not talking just your TIF capture or private, like we're
Your whole budget dollars.
your whole budget.
I think a
and-
low level of that, because we don't put enough into it today, and that's what we're developing right now. So I think it's a low level.
Ongoing high priority.
But what's it marketing? That's what I'm not understanding, because marketing to me seems like a high priority, but what are we marketing? What's the small print there? I can't read.
It says business
Business recruitment and retention,
Okay,
so.
Don't
it can
confuse
be-
marketing with events, right?
Yeah.
they're different. That's different than marketing.
Programming is kind of events,
Yeah.
marketing, and then business recruitment and retention, more like cut sheets for the property, or how do you, you know, support your retailers?
Think of the Google stuff that we did initially, think of the who's your customer stuff, things like that, so we can help educate them and help them retain their business and grow it.
How many downtown businesses?
Four.
Yep, I was in.
I was there.
Yep, I wasn't one of them, but that's kind of my point, I guess. If you're not gonna, as Jay says, you could shove a horse's face in the water, you can't force it to drink. Yeah. I'm gonna make us all t-shirts.
Figuring out what it is that resonates with people, so that those resources aren't just
Lost
not
in,
utilized, not utilized. Property acquisition, again, I know it's happened
Do we have a
little
realtor?
bit, but,
That's primarily a city function.
okay. So we're just gonna leave that at the city. Downtown dog park was something we heard and don't have one. Low priority, let's start with the priority, low
I think it's
priority.
a low priority. I mean, while it's important, there are a couple grass areas where you
Yeah.
can take your dog on a leash, and it's one of those things, if we find the right spot in the right park.
Yeah,
it
if we
makes
get
sense.
enough land, I mean, then it's. different.
What if we have a facility adjacent to downtown? Would that be sufficient?
Like how
I
adjacent?
think the issue is,
McFarland Park's right here.
Yep.
It's
I can-
completely underutilized.
I can.
so think about it this way though, Jay, you've got a dog,
Mhm.
what's the first thing your dog has to do in the morning? You have to go outside.
Mhm.
You don't wanna walk 3 blocks to let your dog outside.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
So, I mean, I think the like.
A dog park for residents downtown or for
Yeah.
visitors downtown? I would say, I would say it's a low priority, so I would say as a landlord downtown, most landlords don't want parks.
I do, and they poop right outside my building.
I had a big dog downtown and it was fine. We
Yeah.
did that walk behind the Croswell
Yeah.
and that went
Understand
over,
those.
the little horseshoe
I'm-
one.
Yeah, I mean, low priority, but we're getting rid of one on winter, we probably need to find a spot to add something.
Yep.
Low cost then?
Yeah.
What was nice about that one on Winter is that they had the bags back there. I mean, I always brought I had my own bag.
I would say that's a higher priority than the dog park itself is
Is the
providing.
bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
And trash cans.
At the same point in time, well, why are the bags not the responsibility of the pet? That's a whole separate conversation.
They are.
It's a courtesy.
And
It's a courtesy, yeah.
sometimes you forget. Sometimes, yeah, you forget or they go twice.
Yeah.
And you might not even need a dog park, just some greenery for them to go on and some
Yeah.
bags to be
Yeah.
provided to pick
Yeah.
up.
And trash cans.
Yeah, next will not be by then.
All right, we talked a little bit about wayfinding signage.
High
priority.
High
High
priority.
priority, that's good level cost.
High.
What one is?
And bilingual.
Wayfinding
We
signs.
can't even-
I love, does the city make all the signs in house?
No. Not,
Make
not
stuff
those, they
inside.
can make the plain ones, but they can't make anything colorful.
We love color.
On that note, one of the things we heard in the survey was the Kiwanis Trail signage.
Dusty's problem.
That's a problem.
That's not our problem.
Guarantee you, that's under another.
They just talked about it
There's
yesterday.
another
Trail meeting.
authority.
It's not-
Here, yeah.
They are.
Look how good we are.
Downtown Pennsylvania.
We're working on that. It won't impact our budget, but it is a high priority. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Parking structure was something that
High
was discussed a
priority.
little bit.
It'll be a high priority, or not a high priority, I'd say it's a
Medium?
medium priority,
High cost.
high cost.
I would almost say. low
I would say high
priority.
priority.
I mean,
Jay, what I'm glad you're doing with the mayor.
Farmers market, like winterization or winter activation.
Medium priority.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, can you say that
Heaters.
again?
I'm sorry, farm.
Encapsulate activities
Winter
for the winter
activation.
time.
I think
So
doesn't that
this doesn't go.
one that would help all retail?
So a high priority,
I would
mid,
put it.
medium,
medium.
Medium.
mid cost. In terms of, I mean, we're not thinking so much about, but like how much we want to allocate resources.
Yeah.
But if it's winter, how are we enclosing it? Like, are we, like, that's a big thing. And
Well,
people don't use it in the summer, why would they use it? In the
There's
winter?
different levels of
use it
where
in
you
the
can do.
summer.
You know, you can put Kansas size, you can put roll up doors, you can do different things.
How long range is the Croswell's plan for the property behind the pavilion?
Yeah.
We have no
I
idea.
heard like.
Yeah, they have not shared. They shared a while back, but then.
Yeah, that's the
They've been
last I saw.
redeveloping it and they just went quiet, so we don't know.
Okay.
Public art and murals, I heard some discussions already, so I say ongoing, but, high.
High
priority, for sure.
High priority, yeah, I was gonna.
Low cost.
I'd say medium.
Medium,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a. Yeah.
You're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
Should be medium.
additional benches and seating,
No, low priority.
low.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have plenty.
Support for building rehabilitation,
That's all of it.
Yep.
I'd say ongoing,
I'd say high.
yeah.
You get asked a lot, don't you? I know you do. So I refer them to you because they come to me.
So, I mean, in terms of
No, it
cost,
goes a lot.
it's gonna have a high dollar cost, if we front it and go fund it, but we're not gonna give out massive amounts of, there's nothing huge there. So high cost, just to get the fund.
low exposure though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Additional trash receptacles,
High priority.
Yeah, it's a city,
No, but it's a city thing.
it's a city function.
That might be a partnership.
Could be a partnership. No.
He's like, good luck.
so maybe, if it's a city partnership, maybe low.
Low, definitely low.
Sound system, I saw the speakers.
We have one, yeah.
Since I wrote this out, so,
Is it last time?
alleyway lighting,
High.
High
I
priority.
don't know, I wanted.
What are the blue torchy things up by?
Yeah,
the-
find out.
Speakers.
Those are speakers.
Oh.
I saw him today, this was like.
My
so
son-in-law was
sweet.
like the whole torch, like, you know, maybe look at research or something.
Respond to our.
Maybe
papers then about what they were yet.
level financing for alleyway lighting.
Yeah.
I
That
know,
would be a partnership too.
That would be a partnership.
she's my neighbor and
Maybe
I
not
can't even,
there,
I
maybe
can't
the other
even. Who do you think?
Is your name?
Additional seasonal decor.
I would say that's probably a minimum cost and high priority.
Yep.
Yep.
Agree.
Agree, wrong answers only.
Yes.
I drove by.
General maintenance and beautification, obviously that's ongoing, but, in terms of additional dollars or, we have parking study on here just because it seems like there's so much contention around whether or not it's perception, what's gonna be needed in the future. I know that you had one done fairly recently, but, I don't know if that's something that is a priority at all.
I don't think it's a priority today because
Future.
The future probably, but it's more of an education. Almost becomes a parking marketing plan, I think would be.
Hey, here's where all of our lots are.
Yeah.
The alleys. There's more like.
We need like an app or something where they can just go on and.
They're all connected to the signage.
They are, yeah. But like social media posting of like, here's like.
I know.
You know, there's 300 parking spots here.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get the digital sign how many spots are available?
Those are great. Have you seen those?
I like the parking garages.
Look at Columbus. They have it. That's unbelievable.
Bike and scooter share was something we talked a little bit about. That's gonna be a partnership most likely, but what kind of level of priority in terms of investing?
Low priority.
I mean, if we're talking transportation, I would bump Ubers and other
Yes.
things up. Yeah.
Yes.
And just so you know, Uber is on the city's strategic plan,
Mhm.
and it's a pretty high priority for them.
Mm-hmm.
Are there anything that I'm like glaringly missing from this list? I know we talked about some other things that we'll add from the map and some of these, but like anyone dying to add anything right this minute? Okay, well, thank you. I know that this was a little bit of a longer meeting, but I really appreciate all of the input. This is gonna be really great foundation as we continue forward with drafting. I think we come back in September with a draft for you.
Superb. Thank you for all your work. We really appreciate it. Let's give her a hand.
Great.
Well, thank all of you for your participation. That was great. A lot of great information. So I'll go ahead and look for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Any further discussion? We're adjourned.
All of a sudden, I was like.